Hey guys, today we're going to be working on simple order of operations. There's a rule for the order of operations and how to do it, and this rule is PEMDAS, and what each one stands for is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, and then addition and subtraction, and this is the order in which you solve operations. Here you'll see that it says left to right because once you get into a simple problem like this and it's just one rule, you just have to solve from left to right. So let's go ahead and start with this one. And what you'll do first is instead of trying to multiply it all out at once or doing 3 times 2, you'll work from left to right. So you'll do 5 times 3, which is 15, times 2. And what you do is after you've solved something, you bring down the rest of the equation that you haven't done yet. And then once you solve that, you'll do 15 times 2, which will give you the answer of 30. Okay, and next thing you're going to do is for a different problem like this one here, you have to start going through the order. So because there are 2 ways you could solve this. You could add 9 and 7 first and then divide by 72, but that would be wrong because you wouldn't be working in order. So you look at the equation and which of these steps come first. So the first thing you would do is the division since it comes before the addition. So what you would do is 72 divided by 9, which is 8. And like I said here, once you solve this portion, you bring down the rest of the equation. And so you would add 7. And then once you add 8 and 7, you'll get 15 as your answer. Let's work on this one next. As you can see, this one has division first, but that's still not the first step just because it was the first step in this one. You have to look at the order, and the first thing you would solve is the parentheses here. So what you would do is 5 minus 3, which is 2, and bring down the rest of your problem. Next, after you write down the rest of the problem, you look here again to see which comes next. And you wouldn't subtract, instead you would divide because division comes before subtraction. So 40 divided by 4 is 10. And you bring down the rest of your problem, minus 2, and then you solve, which will give you 8. And for the last one here, it looks a little more complicated only because there's more in the parentheses. So what you do first is parentheses, which is 6 plus 25 minus 7. But here it says left to right, so you don't have to worry about subtracting first. You add first, which will give you parentheses 31 minus 7. Divided by 6. And because this is still in parentheses, you work this next step out, which would be 24 divided by 6. And because you solved everything in the parentheses, you don't need to keep it anymore, so you can drop the parentheses. And now you look back, and because your only available step is to divide, you divide, which will give you 4 as your answer. A good way to remember this right here is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. There are a lot of different ways that you can remember it, and there are a lot of different ways online too. So